My first idea is that we should distinguish between at least three totally different phenomena. On the one hand, historically, the first populist movements or parties in Russia or in the United States. Second, the populist regimes that were so important in Latin America in the 40s or 50s. And third, what we should call new populisms or neopopulisms, that is to say all these phenomena that began in Europe, but not only, in the early 80s. That's my first point. So these phenomena are what I'm going to discuss. My first point is that they are full of contradiction. They hate Jews sometimes, but sometimes Jews are a part of the movement. They say they don't want violence, but some of them may be open to some violence. And they can be against neoliberalism, but they can also be in favor of neoliberalism. They can change their mind, and that's my key point. There are no problems with their own contradiction. Which leads me to another point, which is that these movements, these political forces are mythical. That is to say, their discourse is able to deal with their contradictions without any problem. And it's a mythical formula, and this mythical formula is articulating contradictions, and it is not a problem because these movements don't participate in the power. Everything changes when they arrive at power or when they are near the power, because now they have to discuss politically seriously, and contradictions make life difficult for them. But sometimes they succeed. And this leads me to my last very important point. This phenomena that I call neopopulism, these phenomena are not the worst. They, for instance, they don't say they will use a lot of violence, that they will accept violence. They want to be clean. They want to appear as fighting against corrupted people. They are not anti-democratic. They are the idea that they will reach the power through democratic ways. But what they like in democracy is much more direct democracy, referendum, without having to have political parties, institutions, parliaments, and so on. So they are a mythical formula, which is not the worst because they are not speaking in name of a dictatorship, in name of a totalitarian regime, and so on. But what happens is that they are sometimes the last moment before the worst, before authoritarianism, before totalitarianism or fascism, before extremism, before hard nationalism. So these phenomena are not very positive, of course, but they are not the extreme point of nationalism, extremism, and so on. And when populism is exploding because the contradictions begin too strong, because the mythical formula does not work anymore, then we enter in very difficult moments. So my point is that we are today at a moment when maybe these populist movements will disappear, or maybe they will be transformed into democratic parties. But maybe also they will disappear, opening the way to nationalism, extremism, authoritarianism, and awful kind of fascism.